All right, Kevin, final topic for the day.
Yeah, you fucking fossil.
We're going with Barrett G93's question.
Barrett
which
G93.
is,
Bah, bah, bah.
as we have PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo reps, in quotes he uses, I'm going to go with fanboys. What is the biggest disadvantage of each from the person that is a fanboy? So I'm assuming by this he means Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start this off. Nintendo, what's their biggest disadvantage? They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't understand what their audience actually want, what gamers actually want.
Right.
So I don't even think it's fair to say their audience, because maybe they do know what their audience wants and they make money, so it's fine. But they definitely don't know what gamers want, and they're definitely not giving the gamers what they want.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll go second. I would say that just the Xbox Live Arcade, I don't know if it's still called that, but like
It's not.
the marketplace, it's just, we don't have a lot of like small little indie games that are just fun to play, and we need more of that. And I primarily play on Xbox, and I get jealous of PlayStation and Nintendo because they have so many iconic characters, right? Like, you can make amiibos out of like so many different characters. You can't really do that on Xbox. Like, that's not what I get. Master Chief.
Blinks the cat.
Blinks the cat. Yeah.
Likes the cat, right? Like, so I would say more franchises that are just tied to Xbox that I can kind of grow with, you know?
Sure. I'm going to say PlayStation Network. It's behind the times. It's been behind the times. It's PlayStation 4 version in iterations better than ever, sure.
100%.
But it's still way behind Xbox Live in terms of security, stability, options, the fact that the Xbox at least runs and works. Xbox, you have followers, you have friends, you have these different things. PlayStation, I go to look at my friends list, it wigs the fuck out and crashes. It's like, okay, great, awesome, that was good. You know what I mean? Like, there's that sense of, especially now more than ever, like when we used to play PlayStation 3 and we'd go through the XMB and we had drank the Kool-Aid and we're like, this isn't so bad. It's Stockholm Syndrome. Like, whatever. You go over and see what everybody's doing. You felt connected in that way, but even that was clunky as hell. And now I can't even look at that, so I don't feel connected at all, which is weird based on the fact that PlayStation 4 was going to be this device that connected everybody again with, like, here's the page of activity, here's what the friends are doing, share play, da 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 da. And, like, I don't use any of that. I feel very isolated when I use my PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny in a way that Sony's doing better than they've done since the PS2 era, but there's still huge issues. I think PSN is a major issue still for them. There's a lot of maintenance, downtime. It is easily exposed by people. Often things like name changing is infuriating, that you can't change your name after 9 fucking years. You know, like, it's really incredible how fucked up I think some of PSN is at its very core, that like they can't fix these issues. As we said in the past, Shuhei and other people have made clear to us, like, well, if we know these are issues, it's like we can't do anything about it. We have only so many resources to like delve into the code and like really figure this stuff out. And they're getting there. 2.5, I think, is going to be
A good step.
a nice step forward. You'll be able to finally delete 0% trophies and do put your game to sleep and then start up again and all
It's
that kind of stuff.
nerdy PlayStation stuff that nerdy PlayStation fucks like us want.
And it was a nice sign for me in the sense that they're always listening, but that they're actually starting to check boxes that like people have been asking for a long time, which is nice. But I think that's a problem, and I think the bigger issue for them right now, even though it's not affecting sales of the console, is that they are not leveraging their first parties at all. And I think Sony's strength over Nintendo and Microsoft has always been their first party studios, and I'm confused why they're being so quiet, and I think a lot of it comes from deliberateness, and I think that that's smart. The Last Guardian is a good example of why you need to be deliberate when you announce a game and make sure that it's a game and it's coming out. But there's been a lot of quiet that is really starting to bother people about a lot of studios that have not said anything. And Sony owns, and they're working on games, and it's like, well, what are you doing? You know, Santa Monica, Bend, Guerrilla, is Sucker Punch pre-producing? What are they producing? Maybe a little early for them. There's a Media Molecule. There's a lot of Cambridge. Like, there's a lot of studios that have just not said anything. And so I'm confused about like what their plan is moving forward. But I think that their plan is that PS4 is selling at a meteoric pace without the games, and so they do not need to rush anything. I think that is probably what it is.
You figure it's the antithesis of the PlayStation 3 way they did it, right? Where it was literally, here's an exclusive every month, and none of them sell because we don't have the time to promote any of them, and we don't know. Here's Twisted Metal, and here's Starhawk, and here's all these games that these people are making, and the exclusive, and this like, well, what the fuck are we going to do with any of them? People aren't buying them, and they die out, and then Dylan Job goes and makes mobile games. He's like, I'm done. See you later. Like, that's the it's right now it's the two extremes, right? Where it was PlayStation 3 there was too many, and PlayStation 4 there's not enough, and like where the happy medium is and how you keep everybody happy, they don't know yet. And that's the thing is like what's their weakness right now is the fact of like what's their holiday trump card to Halo when Uncharted's gone? Is it just going to be like it was last year with The Order, where when that got pushed and everybody's like, well, okay.
Yeah, there's something we don't know about yet about what there must be a fall game. Like there has to be, like from one of these studios, you know. I'm just confused about the messaging. Yeah, it seems a little too safe now, as opposed to just being wanton like they were during the PS3 era.
Halo. That was.
Well, that's another question. Does Halo 5 really matter? From user at Tim Gettys. I really wanted to know this from Alfredo.
You did not ask.
Swear to God.
You wrote your own name.
Yeah.
You idiot.
No. So Halo to me, obviously, is a huge deal. And especially on this show, people are always talking in the comments like, why don't you talk about Halo more? Why don't you talk about the beta? It's like, we just don't really, it's not our thing. I love playing Halo, but like, it's not my shit. Is Halo still a relevant thing in the ecosystem of Destiny existing and Call of Duty and all these other shooters?
It's less and less relevant. I mean, it has its hardcore fan base. But I mean, like, you know, I feel like it's this very, very tough thing where I feel like Halo 5 is going to be important. It is also going to piss off a lot of the hardcore fan base, right? They want true like Halo, which is no sprint. But I feel like, you know, it's the kind of the era of like it's the YouTube generation, right? Where people want sprint, they want like fast, twitchy FPS gameplay. And I know like a lot of people want Halo to stick to its core, where it's like, you know, what it is. But I kind of feel like at the end of the day, it's got to evolve, you know, and it's got to, you know, where the media is and where everyone is at, right? Like you can't make a big game and not have it sell. So I'm sorry, it has to have things like sprint and boost and hover and like dash and things that you're not used to with Halo. But I feel like it's going to bring in more people.
Do you think that Halo 5 is going to last longer than 2 months?
Yeah, 100%. Especially because they're very big on like supporting it, like in the competitive scene and everything. Like a competitive scene helps drive a game last, you know, even longer than it should sometimes. But no, I think that Halo 5, if done right, if it works, will bring it and we'll usher in a new group of people, a new group of players. So I feel like it's important for that franchise.
And more importantly, does it look good to you?
Yeah, I think it looks good. It plays well. I played 2 versions of it. The first version was a little weird and wonky, but immediately when that open beta thing came out, like it played very, very well. At the end of the day, it's like if you want to play, it works now, Master Chief Collection. But at the end of the day, if you want to play old school Halo, like the Master Chief Collection is amazing. You know, every single game, online, everything. Like it's awesome.
Cool. Going back to PlayStation here, Swoop Dog wants to know, what do you think of PlayStation View?
Yeah, View,
and could it actually replace cable?
No, it's too expensive.
Way too overpriced.
So what is this exactly?
This is their TV service, their little on-demand TV service that has channels like AMC, and then from there on, that was the only one that caught my eye. You remember the whole rundown?
Yeah, I don't remember.
CBS is on there, AMC.
It's $50 a month.
$50 a month.
Yeah.
And you essentially just get those channels. You don't need Comcast.
Exactly.
It's a way to cut cable, but it seems like too pricey when you compare it to Sling and other things that are doing similar stuff.
Right, $20 for Sling on Xbox One right now.
It just seems like another kind of half-baked PlayStation idea, frankly, and that is another weakness that we were talking about before. Is like they just have these half-baked ideas, or ideas that don't come around for them, and so they just pretend like they don't exist. Home was one of them. Now is a big example of that, where it's like, I don't know if anyone's even using it. They don't talk about it very often. They have like a little updates where they're like, these games are now available on Now, but I wish that they would just focus a little bit more. You know, just focus a little bit more. People are buying PS4 because they want to play games. That's what Microsoft shot themselves in the foot with. So just focus on the fucking games, you know, and let everything else pan out. Let your third-party partners like Netflix and HBO and all these guys do their thing. But, you know, Microsoft gave the ball away by doing exactly what maybe they're trying to do now, and it's a little ironic to me with Powers and with View and all these things. Like, just guys, like, back up a little bit.
It's scary because that was the thing. PlayStation 4 was their gamble on gamers, and obviously, I was saying before they even announced that gamble would pay off, and it has. But now, are they getting too big for their britches again and going back to doing all the shit nobody wants? Just fucking make games. Talk about games. I don't care about View. Just stop it. Stop doing what you're doing. Yeah, you know what I mean? But then it's always hard to say too because Sony is such a soloed all right, there's so many silos. I'm very tired. So many silos of content and things that are happening there. It's not to say that Powers is really distracting from anybody doing anything with PlayStation, right? But if they're going to try to push that, do they run the risk of alienating people who just want games from them? Who knows?
But you can make that same argument for Microsoft, and it
And they
didn't hurt
did.
them. So it's like, I think that there is something to be said about not resources necessarily, because what does Power's creation have to do with PlayStation really? But it's about marketing, it's about time, it's about mind share, it's about space on the PSN, it's about all these.
I mean, it's all the way down to cover placement on IGN. Like they're promoting Powers, this PlayStation TV show, instead of like a couple days ago I saw, and Powers was getting one of like the featured things, and a couple spots down was some Final Fantasy Type 0 review or whatever, and it's like, that's a game for this game console.
I'm pretty confident at this point, watching what happened with Microsoft and their meltdown with Xbox One, that gamers want games. They do not want these entertainment machines. They don't want them. And like, it's cool that they do that. But any fucking smart TV can play Netflix. It doesn't matter. Your TV can connect to Wi-Fi and play this stuff fine. Like, that's not what people want. Games. They want games. I am more confident than that than ever. And that's what is that's what's so strange and ironic and so puzzling about PlayStation 4's meteoric success. I mean, PlayStation 4 is over 20 million units sold. It's incredible. It's an incredible number. The thing's been on the market for 15 months. You know what I mean? That's an incredible number. It's what, 2 million away from GameCube. It's twice as much as Wii U. It's unbelievable. And they're doing it with just a focus on games, so they need to just keep focusing on games. But the ironic part is that they're doing it without the AAA exclusives, because there's no must-have AAA exclusive on the system still. Yeah, which is incredible.
All right. Speaking of games, a lot of people want to know our opinions on specific games, such as Arc 520, who wants to know. My light just went off a little bit, and that was kind of weird.
Light's having a stroke.
I don't know. Does the shot look okay, Kevin?
I mean, it looks fine.
All right, whatever. It is what it is. All right, so Cities Skylines.
Yeah.
Did you play it, and how does it compare to SimCity?
I did play it.
Yes.
I liked it a lot. I didn't get super deep into it. It's again one of those games that's mentally taxing, but it feels, looks, and runs a lot like SimCity in the good ways, not in the bad ways. You know what I mean? I want to get back to it. I want to do more with it. It's SimCity, the problem was for me when it was always online, doing all this dumb garbage that I didn't want out of it in small plots of land. This is, allowing you to take over the other land around you, do different things, buy stuff. But so far, so good. I'm definitely interested to play more of it.
Cool. All right, next up, we have GTA Heists. Have any of you put any time into this?
No.
Heists? Awesome.
Yeah?
But man, it's so late for that to come out. I really was fighting myself with I put in a stupid amount of hours on GTA, but I was fighting myself do I want to come back? Heist is awesome. It's challenging, which I actually really appreciate, because you have 4 people, you have a handful of guys that play GTA and you're really good. It's you just blow right past them, but it's challenging. You can get I can curse. I can curse
say it.
now.
Fuck it.
You can get a shit ton of money from doing all the heists and stuff like that, and so it's good. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Do you see yourself putting many more hours into it though?
I see myself playing through all the heists that they have now, and then just putting it back away. Yeah, not really replaying it over and over again.
Cool. All right, and now the last game people want opinion on is Smite.
Oh, Smite. Yeah. I'm a console player, but Smite's a MOBA, and it's primarily, MOBA's more of a PC term, but I am hooked on Smite.
What is it for the people that don't know?
Smitten.
Smite is
Damn, I like that. That was fucking good, Greg.
Put it on the board, Kev. Put a 1. Thank you.
Smite is a third-person MOBA that is on the PC, but is now on the Xbox. Well, it's
coming to Xbox.
It's coming to Xbox One. They're currently in a closed alpha, and it's just.
Are you in it?
It's got It's got me hooked. And it's because a couple things. It's I could never really attach myself to the camera view from League of Legends and Dota, that top down and stuff like that.
Sure.
This one's third person, and there's a lot of fast paced action. And their most popular mode, Arena, fits a console player's play style, where it's just kind of fast action, quicker games and stuff like that. And I think Smite will succeed on a console, because it's the kind of game where Xbox players they try very hard when it comes to multiplayer. So, and this is a game where they can really dive into in terms of learning gods and learning their builds, And once you just get a controller into their hands, like I remember playing Smite and on my stream switching from Destiny, people were like, "Oh, what is this? It looks so cool." And I was like, "Yeah, it's Smite. It's on PC. Like I play it. And what are you playing on? A mouse and keyboard?" And they're like, "It's weird." And then the other time I plugged in my controller, and people were like, "Oh my god, I gotta download that." And it's like, "Whoa, it's weird that like
That's all
know,
it took.
that's all it took. That mentality."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Smite's awesome.
Because controllers are the best.
Oh yeah.
Fuck your mouse.
race.
Fuck your keyboard.
Damn. All right. Titanfall 2 coming back up from our boy Trick_2092. He wants to know what we think about the announcement of Titanfall 2 and it going multi-platform.
I mean, it's no surprise that's going multi-platform.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good thing for everyone.
I think it's a very smart move. I just hope that they, if we get like a date during E3 or something like that, that it's not rushed. Like,
Yeah.
Titanfall has, at its core, very good gameplay. Just give it more meat on the bone. And
Well, even now it's that way with all the DLC that's come since then, right? Like when you one of the final things we ever did together at IGN is when you had me come in and play that horde mode with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. Because again, like I don't like being competitive. I'd rather collaborate with humans. Yeah. It's like doing that and fighting the robots, and I'm getting XP. I'm like, this is what I want. And then you pulled me out to the menu, and I was like, what the fuck is all this shit? And you're like, this is everything they've added since launch. And it's like, if they would have launched with that game,
it would have been
every different story for Titanfall in that community.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think single player?
I'm hoping for single player, but it's really weird. I don't know, maybe from just my personal point of view, it's really weird for me to care about a story with giant mechs. I don't know. Yeah.
He hates Iron Giant.
Yeah, man. Iron Man would be upset about this.
Yeah.
All the stuff going on. All right.
Stuff going on.
Last question. What's a game you looked forward to and really wanted to be good, but was a complete letdown?
Superman 64.
Oh, man, yeah.
The
I love
Order.
how much that comes up. Really?
Yeah, I wanted the Order. I wanted the Order to be awesome. Rad is a really good developer and has good pedigree.
Rad.
Yeah, Ready at Dawn. Rad.
My God, I love that.
And but this was a big step forward for them, and I think that they were so obsessed, as I've said before, they were so obsessed with that engine and so obsessed with the graphical fidelity of the game, which was impeccable. It's one of the prettiest games I've ever seen in my life. That they forgot to make a game, and that's a huge problem. And I was hoping that I remember when I first saw the game, I was like, that's when I reported, I'm like, this is not in good shape, and everyone jumped down my throat. I was like, I'm telling you guys, this game's in bad shape. And it got better and progressively better. And when we played it at PSX, as we said before, I was actually like, maybe there's something to this now. Like, this was a fun little portion of the game. And I was like, all right, it's cool. But then I'm reminded of Knack, which there was very little indication. And I don't know if you remember this. There was very little indication that Knack was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be.
I was calling it.
You weren't calling it a bad game. You were calling it I don't remember you ever saying that. I remember a lot of people being like, this is interesting. I didn't think it was going to be great. But it's very selective in the way they show you games, and I'm just much more guarded about that kind of stuff now, because the airship portion of the Order is one of the best parts of the game. So that's not a surprise that they would show you that. And when I played portions of Knack, I was like, this is fun and stuff, until you realize it's just not a good game. But the Order was definitely an example of a game where I was becoming hopeful that they were going to fix it, and then they got the extra time they needed. But that's why I hope that they make, and I think they will. If you see the way the game ends, clearly they're going to make a sequel.
We talked about it. Spoilers. Vampire Dick Man.
Yeah, Vampire Dick Man.
So many dicks.
They have the engine, and now they can focus on making what they need to make, which is a 10 to 14-hour campaign around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the tech anymore. They were obsessed with the technology. They were obsessed with it.
I spoke about this before, but Devil May Cry 2 was definitely like the biggest letdown for me ever, because I love DMC 1 so much, and when they finally announced 2, I was like, I'm in. I pre-ordered it as soon as I fucking could.
Yeah.
I remember walking into EB, and then the guy being like, dude, I'm sorry, man. And I was like, what? He's like, did you see the reviews? And I was like, no. And he like points at the EGM, and I'm just like, I open it up, and it was like a 5.5. And I'm like, what? No.
Out of 10?
There's no way. And I was like, I don't believe this.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. And I remember I got home and I played, I think in one sitting, I played through about half of it. I'm like, it's not that. It's not that. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
And then the next day I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, DMC 1's so good. This isn't. Fuck, this really isn't. And then I beat it. I'm like, wow, this really isn't. And it just broke my heart. I remember Brute Force was another one.
Oh, yeah.
We were pretty excited about that.
Yeah, we were
shit.
very excited about Brute Force. Just the co-op and everything about that, right? The characters, and that was just a total fail.
Yeah, that was bad. And then I think the biggest one for me, besides Devil May Cry 2, is Final Fantasy 13.
Oh.
Where, like, good lord, I wanted that game so bad.
You had to know.
Yeah.
You really had to know.
No, it's just like I didn't. I mean, the trailers look great. Everything about it, I'm like, I like this. I don't like Final Fantasy 9. I don't like the old like weird shit. Like I like this.
The weird
futuristic
shit?
Stuff. Yeah, yeah.
The weird shit is
Fuck
everything that
Vivi.
happened from 10 on. That's the weird shit.
But yeah, I don't know. It hurt. It hurt real bad.
Another one, Spider-Man 3. Remember how good Spider-Man 2 was?
Yeah.
Like just the web, like, oh man, if they just make it look prettier, give you more side missions, this will be great. And it was
Yeah.
so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark
Oh,
Zero.
for Xbox.
Oh, I was gonna say the original.
Yeah, no,
Perfect
that's
Dark
actually a
Zero.
really good call.
I was like, damn, that was a mess. I'm gonna bring this up because I am Xbox at my core. The Master Chief Collection. Like that's something you cannot fuck up. But it was a colossal fuck up.
That's why people should be really afraid of Halo 5, I think.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. But that game just did not work. I played Destiny as much as I do because Halo didn't work. Halo was supposed to be that game that I was going to
They fucked
transition
it up,
to, and it
man.
was going to take me away. It didn't even work. Like, how can you? I'm sure this, of course, is not their intention, but how can you mess up something that's so iconic to, like, Microsoft? Like, the original Xbox was sold because of that game, and it just, I couldn't even play it.
Yeah.
So,
Let
Yeah,
alone
that-
the fact that it is the original one. It's
Yeah.
not even like it was a new game.
yeah.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I just think they tried to do way too much. Like the whole UI itself was just like so much like work had to go into that, and it just they tried to do too much. I guess I don't know.
But you're saying now it's awesome though, right?
Now it works.
Same thing with Drive Club. Like Drive Club was broken and now it works too, but it, like the damage is done. You
Yeah.
know? And I mean that's
100%.
and I was really surprised when Master Chief Collection didn't work because I had no interest. I mean, I liked Halo and Halo 2 a lot, but I'm not going to go back and play those games again. But when I was like 343 did this internally and they're working on the next mainline Halo game, and that game's going to get slammed way harder than Master Chief Collection in terms of users, in terms of people trying to play the game, in terms of connectivity and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's every reason to be very scared about the way that game's going to work. But hopefully with their early alpha and all these kinds of things, they're figuring it out and understanding and identifying these problems. But this goes back to what Greg was saying, the full circle kind of thing, where it was the connectivity of these games is breaking and the games and frustrating people at the same time. Of course, Halo needs to work online. It's not one of those games that you have the luxury of playing offline. You can play the campaign, I guess, but I don't know. So I think yeah, that's an interesting one. Drive Club, obviously, I didn't care about, but it was funny watching how the complete meltdown around that game was just incredible. Yeah,
I think Twisted Metal is the last one I'll say, where I
PS3 one?
I wanted a new Twisted Metal so bad after Black, and I'm just like, please give me a fucking PS3 Twisted Metal. And then they announced it, and I was like super excited about it. And then as soon as they started showing gameplay, I'm like, this isn't Twisted Metal. This isn't what I want. And then it came out, and like I played it a little bit, and I'm like, yep.
Jaffe's new game looks like a nice return to something unique and interesting. So we'll see. Drawn to death.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first and last, Greg, episode 12.
I will
of the
make
Kinda
sure there is
Funny
another
Games
12.
Cast. My God.
I will make sure.
As always, I'm Tim Gettys. We got the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller. And my best friend in the world, Alfredo
Aw.
Diaz.
I'm here. I'm
Burn.
talking to
Alfredo
these guys.
plays one of my best friends. in the
No, it's
entire
too
world.
late. It's said. The dice cast.
One half of TNA reunited, and it feels so good.
11 years of seeing each other naked. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
things happen.
You know what I mean?
Multiple times. Anyways, please make sure you go support him over at twitch.tv/AlfredoPlays.
Much appreciated.
He's going to stream all the time, every morning, every weekday morning from 9 to 2.
9 to 2, and then
And every
at
night
6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Don't forget
and then
about Colin and Greg Live.
weekends sometimes.
No, but
Colin
Colin
and Greg
and Greg,
Live. You should take a break. So what you should do is watch
It's
Alfredo
it's
from
this
9
beautiful
to
thing
11.
where I have like a bunch of people in the morning, and I'm like, guys, Colin and Greg Live, where people are just like, all right, we're gonna go watch Colin and Greg, and then they go, and then they come back like, all right, Colin and Greg's done. Like,
Cool.
now I'm just watching gameplay, and it's like, wow, it's this beautiful synergy.
It's beautiful. He is kind of funny family, and you should get used to him because you're going to be here all the time doing a lot of fun shit, Let's Plays, and all that stuff.
Lots of
But he
collaborating.
is doing his own thing, so
Yeah.
please do go support him over there because he
Lots of
needs it.
collaborating.
Is there anything? Peach? Shout out to Peach again.
Bit.ly/Peach Goblin.
There's some dots and slashes in there.
It's bit.ly ly
Slash
Peach
Goblin.
Goblin. Go download it. Leave a comment. Maybe your comment will get read next week.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Until next time,